Hi, my name is Andrea Roberts, and today we are going to cover all of the features and functionality of the King County Law Library's LexisNexis Digital Library. To start with, let's show you how to quickly log into the digital library. If we're looking at the King County Law Library's website, there is a link under databases to the LexisNexis ebook collection. From there, you'll see that it lists out all of the titles that you'll have access to. There's information for subscribers. So if you are currently a subscriber, all you have to do is click the Go button and it will automatically take you to the digital library. You'll log in with your email address and immediately have access to this collection. If you are not currently a subscriber, reach out to the library itself and they can help set you up with an account. Once you've logged in, this is going to be your homepage. Everyone's homepage will be unique to their user ID. So what we're currently looking at is my homepage. The first time you log in, your recently read will be blank. However, as you use the digital library, your titles will continuously populate on this screen. When you've logged in, up at the top here, you'll see your unique URL. It's lexisdl.com/library/KCLL. If you bookmark that site, you can quickly jump into it whenever you need to. Also, everything I'm doing on the computer, you can do on any mobile device. So if you do like using your phone or a tablet to access this content, you can download the free LexisNexis Digital Library app. Just go in to the App Store for iOS devices or the Google Play Store for Android devices. Search for LexisNexis Digital Library and download that app. The first time you log in, it's going to ask you for a library code, just so it knows which library you're trying to access. And your library code is just the end of your URL here. It's just KCLL. When you add that, it'll ask you to log in just like you normally would with your email address. And then it'll drop you to a homepage just like this so that you can continue your research. Anything you do on one device will sync amongst all of your devices. So keep that in mind. If you add notes or highlights or bookmarks while you're accessing a title on the tablet, the next time you open it up on your laptop or desktop, everything will sync so you can have access to any of the content you've previously used. If we scroll down here, you'll see not only your recently read titles, but any notes or highlights you've added, any tags you might have created. So again, this homepage is just an easy landing spot for you to jump into the content you've recently been using. On your left-hand side will be all of your menu options. If you click Browse Library, that's going to take you to a handful of curated collections that your library staff has put together just to make it easier to access the content that's most often requested. So the very first thing you see here is going to be your WSBA desk books. As we scroll down, you'll see your Washington practitioner titles, followed by the KCBA Lawyer's Manual, and the ABA titles. What really makes the digital library unique compared to other Lexis products is that it has the ability to host content from other publishers outside of just LexisNexis. So that's why you'll get to see things like the ABA titles, the WSBA titles, all of this content that's not necessarily LexisNexis specific. But they've partnered with us so that we can host their content on our site. The ABA collection in general is an extremely robust collection. So you'll see it has over 860 titles that are part of it. And so definitely take advantage of all of this that your library has made available to you. Also, you're just seeing the very first few volumes in each collection. If you want to view the entire collection, just click the name of the collection itself or where it says see all 864 titles, and that'll pull you to the entire collection. Following the ABA collection, you're going to see collections set up for different practice areas. So you'll see civil procedure, criminal law, employment law, immigration law, real estate law, and tort law. And then at the very bottom here, you'll see a recently added collection. That's going to be all of your new releases or additions, as well as any new titles that the library might have purchased or added to the collection itself. So this is a nice spot to come in and check to see if there's anything new that's part of the library itself. And right below that, you're going to see a number of different hyperlinks for subjects and jurisdictions. If you click See All 81 Subjects on the right-hand side here, that's going to take you to an alphabetical listing of each jurisdiction and practice area that is included within the digital library. So if you knew that you only needed to see everything that we have on construction law, you can come in here, click on construction law right here, and that will automatically take you to those 18 volumes that deal specifically with construction law. It's a nice spot to come in, browse through what's available within this digital library, and jump right into that content. However, if you log into the digital library and you already know what you're looking for, up at the top, you'll always see a search bar. This search bar would allow you to search for a title, an author, a subject. So again, if you log in and you know exactly what you're looking for, you can type it in here. I'm going to look for all of our family law titles. And when I do that, you'll see that it pulls up and shows me that we have 57 individual volumes that deal specifically with family law. This is going to expand out every single volume. If there are sets that are part of this search, it'll show you the sets grouped together on the right-hand side here. So that's that Washington Family Law Desk Book. You can narrow your search results. So I can filter out by jurisdiction, practice area, content type. I can also sort by relevance, title, or release date on the right. So a few different options to narrow those results. And as I scroll down, if I knew that, volume 3 here of the Washington Family Law Desk Book was exactly what I needed, I could click read and jump right into it. However, if I want a little bit more information on that volume, I can click on the title itself, and that's going to take me to what we call a book details page. This is going to show you all of the information you've ever needed to know about this volume. As you scroll down, you'll see on your left-hand side, there's all of your edition and release information. It'll tell you how many copies of this volume are available. Depending on the title, there could be anywhere from 1 to 2 copies available of each volume. If for some reason someone has already checked out that volume and you need access to it, rather than saying read here, it'll say place a hold. If you click place a hold, it'll ask you for your email address. And then as soon as that volume becomes available, you'll receive an email letting you know that you can log into the digital library and borrow that volume. A little further down, you'll have additional information. So if you've added any annotations to this volume, you'll see those here. You can share a link to this volume with anyone else that has access to the digital library. And under my tags here, you can create a tag or tag this volume if you know you're going to use it over and over again. I think of tags as, quick links to those volumes I'm constantly going to access, almost like a favorites list. Your tags are unique to your user ID. No one else ever sees them. We don't delete them at any point. They're there until you delete them or you delete your user ID. You can create as many tags as you want. We'll do a brand new tag here for training. And you'll see when I add that, it tags it down below. So again, the next time I need this volume, there will be a link to it on both my homepage and under the My Tag section here. If we scroll up to the top, on the right-hand side, you're going to see a link for a table of contents. Every single volume within the digital library has a hyperlinked table of contents attached to it. If you click into it, you can actually expand out every chapter and subchapter. So if you want to quickly scroll through the TOC, you can then click on any section and automatically jump right to it. So it makes it really easy just to quickly scan through the table of contents and jump into the content that you're looking for. A little further down, you're going to have a section that says search this title. This is where you can actually run a search for a keyword or a phrase through this content. So it's actually going to search through the content of this title rather than just title information. If you're looking at a volume that's part of a multi-volume set, like we currently are, you'll actually have the ability to search through all volumes at once. If you happen to just click on a single standalone volume title, rather than saying all volumes, it'll just say this volume. But if I was looking for, we'll do agency options, I can run that search and you'll see on the right-hand side, it's going to show you what volume and chapter my search terms pop up in. It'll show you your search terms bolded and highlighted, and you'll see two different hyperlinks. The share hyperlink would allow you to share a link to that volume and chapter with anyone else that has access to the digital library. And go to passage would allow you to jump right into it. So I'm going to click go to passage here. When I do, you'll see this drop down appear. It'll tell you how many days you can borrow this volume for and how many titles you can borrow at any one time. And then all I have to do is click borrow, and it's automatically going to open up that volume and drop me right to that section. So a really easy way to go from the search results to that content. It'll highlight your search terms just to draw your eye to it. And then from here, you can continue your research. When you open up a volume, it defaults to open in this two-page view, almost like you have the title open on your desktop. If you prefer a single page view, up in the top right corner, next to that bookmark icon, you'll see these three lines. The second option is a one-page per screen view. So again, if you prefer that, all you have to do is click on it. You can automatically change the view settings. And if there's anyone that likes using keyboard shortcuts, we list them all out here under keyboard commands. And if anyone utilizes a screen reader or prefers to use a screen reader, our digital library titles are compatible with 99% of the screen readers on the market. Under keyboard commands, it'll walk you through how to utilize a screen reader with our titles. If you need any additional assistance, reach out to your library staff or reach out to me, and I'll be happy to walk you through it. At the bottom of your screen, you're going to see a number of menu options. In the far right-hand corner here, there's a settings button. That would allow you to customize pretty much everything about how you're viewing these volumes. Everything from the background lighting, if you don't like that bright white background, to the size of the font, the spacing, the type of font, if you don't like the publisher's default. All of this is customizable. And if you take the time to customize it, it will remember it for future use, so you won't have to change it each and every time you log into the digital library. On the far bottom left, there is a print icon. You have the ability to print full sections of these titles. So you can print a full chapter or multiple chapters. You can print individual pages. You can print a hard copy or print a PDF. It's completely up to you. If you know you're going to be printing quite a bit, we do suggest using Google Chrome to print. It tends to give you the best print options. However, you can use any modern browser, so Chrome, Edge Chromium, Firefox, Safari, all of those will work. The only system we do not support is Internet Explorer. So if someone still has a system that defaults to the old IE, just know that you'll have to open up a different browser in order to access the digital library. Next to the print icon, you'll have a hyperlinked table of contents. So it's going to show you where you currently are within this volume. Every section is hyperlinked, so you can quickly jump to any section right from here. Next to that, you'll also have a find feature. This is going to allow you to run a search for a keyword or a phrase through the volume you currently have open. It'll show you if you've run a search for other terms throughout this volume before. So if we want to run that same search, we can. You'll see that it bolds your search terms, and every single section that it brings up is hyperlinked. So I can click on any section and jump right to it. These arrow keys will populate, so I can jump from result to result right here. I can also click show all on the right-hand side if I want to bring up that entire list of results as well. Finally, probably the most used feature within the digital library is the ability to highlight and annotate these volumes. You can add as many notes or highlights as you like. Your notes and highlights are unique to your user ID, so no one else will ever see them. We don't delete them at any point. They will be there indefinitely until you delete them or you delete your user ID. And they're always available in multiple spots throughout the digital library. So feel free to add as many as you like. If you want to add a note or a highlight, all you have to do is click and drag your cursor. And you'll see the first option appears is add annotation. When I click on that, this screen will populate. If it's the first time you've ever used this feature, it defaults to the yellow highlighter. But you can always change that to whatever color you'd like to highlight with. You can then add whatever notes you're looking for. So we'll just say options. There's no limit, so you can add as much or as little as you need to in that space. And then all you have to do is click save, and it will automatically add that highlighted note. You can quickly add as many as you'd like. You can switch between highlighting colors here. Again, it's completely up to you how many notes you'd like to add. A few other options appear when you do highlight some text. Below add annotation is copy with citation. If you're familiar with the copy with cite feature through Lexis Advanced or Lexis Plus, it's the same concept. It'll just copy this section of text to a clipboard, and when you paste it into a Word document or an email, it will include the citation for you. Below that is copy passage link. That would allow you to copy a link to this section of text that you just highlighted that you can then share with anyone else that has access to the digital library. So it's a nice way to share a link to a very specific section of text rather than just to the title itself. Finally, define and find will do exactly what they say. If you've highlighted a term or a phrase and you click define, it will bring up a definition. And if you click find, it will find other instances of that term or phrase within this volume. I mentioned that your notes and highlights are always available to you in multiple spots. The first is always going to be when you're in the title itself. If you click on annotations down below here, it's going to show you all of the notes and highlights you've ever added to this volume. If you've added quite a few, you can actually run a search through your notes and highlights for a keyword or a phrase. You can narrow by highlighting colors on the right-hand side. It'll show you what you've highlighted, any notes that you've added. You can edit and delete them right from here. And if you like to have a hard copy of your notes, you can print a hard copy or print a PDF right from this page as well. And this is just the first spot you'll see your notes and highlights. Again, they'll be available on your homepage as well. And I'll show you that in a second. The last thing I want to point out when you're in a volume are all of the different hyperlinks you're going to see. Anything you see hyperlinked in blue, that's going to just link you within this volume. Anything you see linked in green, that's going to primarily be your cases and codes. That would want to link out to that case or code on Lexis Plus or Lexis Advanced. If you don't have your own Lexis account, you'll have to reach out to your library staff. Just let them know you're trying to access that specific citation, and they can assist you with getting a copy of it. Luckily, there's no way to incur any kind of additional charge. So if you don't have your own Lexis account, it'll just stop you at that sign-on screen, and you won't be able to go farther than that. I'm going to close out of the title itself here. And when I do, it just drops me to those search results that we started with. I'm going to leave that behind. And now if you look, my homepage has been updated. Browse library, again, is just all of those collections. My books is just a running list of everything you've ever borrowed within the digital library. It's also where you can go to return titles early. So when you do borrow a title, you can have it for up to 7 days. After that 7 days, it'll automatically go back into circulation, so the next person who needs it can have access to it. However, if you're done with it earlier than 7 days, you have the ability to return it early. All you have to do is come in here, click on this little clock icon, and click return, and it will automatically go back into circulation. I did mention that if someone already has your volume checked out that you want to borrow, it'll say place a hold instead of read. So right here is a great example. Someone's already borrowed this volume. So if I wanted it, I could click place a hold. And then all I have to do is add my email address and click place hold, and it will automatically add that hold for me. At the bottom here, you'll see my tags. So again, if you've tagged any titles, they will populate here for you. And then my annotations is going to keep track of all of the notes and highlights you've ever added to each individual volume. So if we look at the ones we just added here, it's going to show you what you highlighted, any notes you added, what color you highlighted it in. And if I pick and choose everything here, this little actions option will appear. When I do that, it's going to allow me to copy and paste them. So if all I want to do is copy and paste my notes into a Word document or an email, I have that option. However, I can also add them to an export queue. I'm going to do that just so you can see how this works. If I add them to a queue, I actually have the ability to add multiple notes and highlights from multiple volumes to my queue. So if I happen to be working on a project, I can add as many notes and highlights as I want to from as many volumes to my queue. And from here, I'll actually have the ability to add a couple more. There we go. To organize how I want to download my notes and highlights. So if we go into our queue after we've added quite a few in here, you'll see that it divides them up by volume. And up at the top, I can filter by different highlighting colors. I can run a search on the right for a keyword or a phrase through all of my notes and highlights. And when I'm ready to download them, I can pick and choose whichever ones I'm interested in downloading. And that little actions option appears again. If I click on that, I still have the ability to copy and paste. However, I now also have the ability to download to a Google Drive account, a PDF, a CSV Excel file. So we give you more options than just copy and paste when it comes to downloading and organizing your notes and highlights. When I'm done, I can remove them from my queue, or I can leave them here indefinitely if I'm still working on a project. That is pretty much all of the main features and highlights of the digital library. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you have any questions, reach out to your library staff. They'll be happy to forward any questions my way. Again, I'm Andrea Roberts, and I hope you have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you.